huge gaps in learning and education. Education is important. Education is something that you're going to need it somehow, some way, right? Now, here's what I'll say about education. Most folks, we fail most generations when it comes to education. We failed you, kind of thing, right? And I'm saying, I'm concluding me on that we side because I'm a little bit older, little bit older than most of you, right? So the education aspect of what you get, a lot of testing. How many people love to take tests? Love tests, right? Love tests? Good. You're way ahead than me because I hate tests. I can't stand tests. But that's the mechanism that we have right now to understand, to measure whether someone is getting the information or not. That's just a mechanism in place. But to the point, a test doesn't determine how smart you are. A test doesn't determine if you know it or not. A test, I'm gonna go back to my high school days a little bit. I would be up cramming for tests. And college too, we'll go there, because college I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do at that point. So I used to cram, absolutely cram for tests. But didn't know it just long enough to take the test. After that, man, I don't know what the questions were. I don't know what the answers were. I don't know what the question was. It was just, I just had it in there long enough. I was smart enough to have it in there long enough to pass the test. But I didn't learn it. I didn't know it. I couldn't use it again, per se, in a lot of ways, right? So I'm sure a lot of you in here, right? You know it long enough to get it back on the test, right? And that's okay, because you got to get through the test. And grades are important. Grades do matter. To this society, grades do matter. They are important. But that's not the end test to what you can do, what you are able to do, what you have opportunities to do. Says, I don't know if you notice on applications, well, as you're sure either been looking at or beginning to look at college applications, but they ask more questions than just what is your GPA. There are other things that are considered besides your GPA. What type of organizations are you with? What type of community service? Community service is part of high school graduation credits these days. Community service is part of college opportunities, right? So there's other things that have the ability to influence whether you have certain opportunities or not. Whether you have certain avenues, whether you have access to certain scholarships, certain dollars. Smart man for getting his education paid for as much as he can. Loans stank. I'm here as a witness, still paying for undergrad right now. Been out a long time. I see an amen, about a couple of amens over there. College loans, but when you don't know, you don't know. I didn't know a whole lot about scholarships, opportunities, right? So these environments that you're in, learn. You take that information. You utilize that information. That's the other thing, just utilize it, right? So we have, you're given these opportunities, and I'm going to open up questions in a little bit, but there's a couple things I definitely want to touch on. But you're given these opportunities for a reason. Now, whether you take these opportunities or not, and then not only take them, but act upon them, do the work that's included with them. Because I have a human resources recruiting background. What that is primarily I hire people for jobs. All right, for companies, different companies need to hire folks. Sometimes you can just walk in and just start working 2 days after graduating. I keep pointing over there. That's a wonderful example right there. So you can walk right in to your job, create a job for you. No hiring, no recruiting necessary as far as interview and such. But the work was already put in. So it wasn't like he wasn't working. It was already put in, right? So they found an opportunity for him. But for other folks and other opportunities, you interview for them. You go on, you have to sit across from somebody and they've got to ask you questions. You got to communicate how you can help that company, right? Because also it's not about how the company can help fill your pocket, so I got this Benz on my mind I need to get, so I want this job, so you can pay me a lot so I can get this Benz. I don't want to work a lot. I mean, I don't want to do like 40 hours. I mean, I'll maybe do like 25 hours. The other 10 hours I'm going to do on some Twitter. I got to get on my Twitter feed. I got to hit Facebook a couple of times. You know, the latest YouTube video, there's all that stuff all there. Yeah, that's great and all, it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's not going to necessarily be that thing that necessarily get you to where you want to go all the time. But on the interview side, right, you got to sit across from folks and tell them why you are the person, why you are the fit for that position, why you are the fit for that college, why you are the fit for that scholarship. Interviews happen all the time. And what I run into and what I found is a lot of folks can't communicate that information. They can't tell folks why they're good for that position. I know. People start listening a little bit more. Folks begin to realize, hopefully you begin to realize, communication is a factor. Now, one question I'll throw out to you is, if you heard the statistics or if you heard information out there, there's a lot of places that incarcerate, put in jail, a lot of black youth, black males, so I'm glad to see so many black males in the house. So, but the statistics don't always run on our side, on our favor, in our favor. But I'm going to throw this question out. You can just shout out answers to me. It's a two-part question. First part is, what data do you believe the justice system folks use to actually predict how many jail cells they're going to need in the future? That's part one. And then what are they, what are they looking at? And then what age or